Welcome to the show, everybody. Hello.
Hey, man.
Oh, hi. Hey, it's Chris Demmons. We are live from Midcoast Studios, Grand Center, midcoast.media for more information. Big shout out to the people who provided us with these microphones. Gardner is the producer. I'm going to say these are Shure, Shure, techelectronics.com for all tech needs. My name's Chris Denman hosting, Travis Terrell being shortly. We've got the Stream Queen, Chris Gardner, and executive producer. You got your new figurine? You got the new triple black bear that Lair Dog got you over there? Is that a good luck
my snow
trinket?
globe?
Your snow globe, yeah. Oh, wow. He's got
Indeed,
it.
I do.
You do. Thanks, Lair Dog. He's shaking it up.
Little.
Yeah.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning to Travis whenever you get here. And good morning to my walnuts. And good morning to the bear apocalypse.
That's right. It's coming. Coming down hard.
Ursophobia.
Look out, everybody. Lots to get into today. Gardner attended the MLS for the Lou. Big announcement. That looked to be a huge undertaking, and I think they pulled it off. So we can talk about that. The Great American Race. Dogs on Film with Hillside Animal Hospital's Dr. Ed. So we love having him in. We love playing the game. We love hearing Sean narrate that. If you're tuning in on Facebook, why haven't you hit share yet? If you're listening on iTunes, why haven't you reviewed it yet? Gardner, why haven't they?
I
What's
don't
the
know.
problem? I don't know what's
The key
happening.
here is organic growth.
Wow, he's bought in, everybody. Let's jump right into it, man. You attended the MLS for the Lou event yesterday.
I
Got
did.
some great pictures. Carolyn Kendall Betts and the ownership group were all there, front and center. Your mayor, Lyda Cruson, was there.
Oh, yeah.
Do we
Let's
do
just
we have a
say-
review of what went down?
You brought up Lyda's name, so I'll mention this first. When she was announced, she was on the dais with Board of Aldermen President Louis Reed, Don Garber, the Commissioner of MLS, and Carolyn Kendall Betts of Enterprise and the Taylor family. When Lyda was announced, I may or may not have subtly just turned around and turned my back to her, and then
You turned your back
a
to the
friend
mayor.
a friend of mine was on radio at the time, looked over and saw what I did and started laughing.
You turned your back to the mayor of St. Louis.
Almost lit up a cigarette in the middle of the
Oh.
thing.
Is that your main problem with her? What's
It's just one of several.
yeah.
Yeah.
So wait. So your issue with the mayor lies very deep in the roots of
Before she
of
became
lack
mayor.
of change,
Before she became mayor.
attacking cigarettes.
Uninspiring.
Uh-huh.
Nah. She spearheaded the smoking ban
Oh,
in the city of St. Louis.
I think maybe we have an issue with it.
Oh
Oh,
my
so
God.
someone has
This is,
crawled into the
what the
studio.
hell
That's
is
not how that camera works. You could have just
the
you could have.
Welcome to We Are.
there we go.
Marvis Morell, everybody. That XFL crowd get you on the way in? XFL Hawk?
It was the MLS Hawk.
Oh,
Uh,
we were just
people-
talking MLS.
People were in the streets this morning like, soccer's back.
Scarfing it up.
Soccer.
Oh yeah, I did. I haven't even opened the bag yet.
Oh, so
Oh,
you,
wait a second.
Gardner got some
Another
goody goodies?
unboxing. A Gardner unboxing.
Look at
We're
that.
going to be so big on YouTube.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, what do we have
What do you
here?
have?
Oh.
Did they just give these out?
Oh yes.
They gave those out to all the, I put this in quote, media members? Was that public attendance or just media only?
Oh, wow. MLS for the Lou.
That's actually really cool. Now,
That is pretty sweet.
Oh, it's got that.
2019.
Oh, there's a date on
It's
it.
got a date on the bottom. That's pretty sweet. That just
Oh.
shows you how exclusive it is.
no, that shows you can get another $3 on
little,
eBay.
Little fringe there.
Oh, a little fringy fringe.
That's
So wait.
nice.
And incorporate St. Louis colors as well.
So Gardner, was this open to the public?
It was, yes.
They're going to put Ozzie Smith and all the St. Louis sports dignitaries
Jimmy Ball game
out there for just anybody?
in front of peasants.
They did. I was.
Wait, Taylor Twellman opened. Do you have any clips of that?
No.
He opened with a shot at Brett Hall.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
What do you say? We
was
went
like we won-
MLS to Lulu?
No,
did he say?
he said he started with. He goes, we were watching it here in the office. He goes, we wanted to have Brett Hull here, but I think he's still sleeping one off from the cup party.
That's what you.
Right?
Taylor, that's the best joke you
Do you
can
have-
do. Taylor, was that your best joke?
That's paraphrasing.
Glory, Gloria!
Shout out to Tony Patrico and the DMX.
It's the DMX in the background is what absolutely makes it the best clip ever.
No, I thought Taylor did a nice job.
No, he did. He did fine.
You were angry though at the mayor, of course, as usual,
yeah.
because you.
He turned his
despise-
back to her when
Well,
she spoke.
Oh, that is whoa.
Yeah.
It's defiant.
Okay,
I learned from you, my revolutionary brother.
I'm proud. I'm proud. You should have kneeled on the scarf. Set the table early.
Well, I'm not mad at the soccer.
I gotta send a message.
I'm mad.
Just let them know that we in
for
the
the
building, just
mayor.
in case y'all get sideways.
Yeah, it's the mayor. I have an issue.
And you always side with the people that take a knee.
Yes, all of them.
Always. No matter
All
what.
of them?
Hey,
Careful of that.
No matter what circumstance.
Your kneeling might get appropriated at some point,
well,
and then
I'm
you're
sure it's
screwed.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
So you
All the punters kneeling.
oh boy. Oh god, I just thought about that. What a terrible, terrible ally to have in punters.
Yeah, everyone got a scarf yesterday.
How cool is that?
There's the
Now,
female-led ownership group.
Now,
First of its kind.
the lady with the 3 names.
Carolyn Kendall.
CKB.
She is quite impressive on the mic.
Yeah.
She is, wow. Like, I was impressed with her, what she had to
She
say.
likes pink. Apparently, she likes pink.
She has, man, she got that white woman swag. She was on the mic and she had some backbone. Like watch out, rest of the owners in this St. Louis area. Watch out, DeWitts. Watch out, Stillman.
Mm-hmm.
This young lady is impressive.
She's got some money behind her too.
She carries it. Look, she was talking cash money up there. Like I thought she was a reverend for a moment. I was like, all right, white woman, I see you.
Oh, okay.
Maybe she should run for mayor or something. I don't know, but she's got
I did snap a
swag.
picture from up top of the crowd there.
Oh my, look at that.
Look at all that diversity.
Okay. Here's the thing.
And where was this held, Gardner?
Ozzie Smith's like, man, am I the only?
Gardner, where was this held?
This is
The
at
Palladium.
the Palladium.
And
in
where is this
Lafayette-
located?
Lafayette
It's in
Square.
Lafayette Square.
Lafayette Square.
It's
And
Yeah.
in the project.
Now hold. No.
thank
hold-
you. I was just getting to. I
Yeah.
was like, you mean the part that used to be the?
Not
yeah,
used to be.
It's right. Yeah.
It's in.
Travis
it's
dropped
surrounded
me off
by.
at the event yesterday. We drove by a few.
Man, not the projects, man. It's Section 8 housing, completely different.
That's not what you said in the car.
I said that it used to be the project.
Oh,
It's very
okay,
likely
okay.
that some of those housing right now is Section
Okay,
8
that's
homes.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That is proper phrase. My
And
But
what's
it was-
What's the difference?
Well, it's several.
Okay,
differences,
got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Government ran.
I did note that. You know, there was, as I was looking at this photo, like, okay, I got Kerry Robinson, Bernard Gilkey, Ozzie Smith.
How
Were
the
they
hell
present?
Kerry
Lewis
Robinson get a
Reed.
front
Kerry
row?
Robinson was there. Bernard Gilkey was there.
Yeah. But like I was trying to count. in
You had a
terms
brother
of-
on the stage. Who's the brother on the stage?
That's Lewis Reed,
You don't like
Board
him.
of Aldermen president.
Oh, I didn't say I didn't. Hey, man, don't try to put my don't put.
But I was
that.
basically
His
trying.
favorite radio guy is the Reaper.
He did go on his show.
While I called Magnolia
became-
Green a
Yeah.
filthy bee.
He's just the Midwest version of Joe Rogan.
It became
Not even close, you piece of shit. That is not. That is, retract.
Boom!
If I were you, I would retract.
Boom!
That'd get you.
Boom! Oh, Joe Rogan can tell it like it is, but a brother in St. Louis with a little podcast at Midcoast Media can't do the same.
No.
Okay.
I would know.
All right.
This is the part where you say
Fair
you're
enough.
an independent contractor.
Well,
With St. Louis being a heavily Catholic and the city being named after a saint, could our name be the Holy Pucks? I don't think that works, Black Sheep.
St. Louis, look, I think this ownership group is pretty badass, and I hope they delve into their many resources to create a.
Camera 3.
Oh, is this a rant?
Feels
No,
like
it's
it.
not.
Feels
No,
like it's
it's
gonna.
not. I'm
feels
excited.
like it's gonna turn into onto
No.
the mountain.
I think this is a wonderful opportunity, not only for, obviously to bring another major sporting franchise to St. Louis, but I hope it is a civic opportunity for.
Oh, like bars and the entertainment.
Well, specifically,
district
I think,
economy?
look, if those politicians are going to be on the stage with those owners who put up their money to bring MLS soccer to St. Louis, I think it's important that the civic leaders do their part to take advantage of a situation where you have some of the most powerful, influential, and wealthy families and organizations in the St. Louis area, and they're putting a project in the city. So this is a remarkable opportunity for everyone to not just build a soccer stadium and have a franchise, but truly embedded in the community to the point where you can see some form of tangible change. Look, while we have them in the room, it makes sense to me. While we have them in the room, what else can you do for this city? And they're doing a lot. Don't get me wrong.
Ooh.
I'm not asking them what else more they can do. I'm wondering what else are you willing to
Okay.
what else are you willing to do to engage the community? Because you can't just have soccer sessions at Matthew Dickey's. You can't just.
Why not?
You can, but
Well,
that's not.
Who are we putting this on?
But
Are we
they're
putting
using-
it on the?
I mean, I'm saying this. They're using a lot of private money,
Yes, they are.
so they probably get to do what
But
they want.
which has always been the case. Nobody telling rich white people what not to do. So I
Oh,
know
they do
that.
all the
I
time.
understand that. My thing is, we've sit up here year after year after year talking about our civic leaders and private businesses coming together to make our city better. This is what we show what we can do, bringing a soccer franchise here. Now let's see if, since we have these parties, are they willing to discuss other ways to perhaps to improve the city? Now I'm not saying it's
We'll get
on
to
their
that.
shoulders.
We'll get to that.
It's not their necessarily their specific responsibility, but I feel like if you're going to do business in the city, let's improve it while we're here. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But I'm very excited
It's
about
not the priority right now.
It won't be a priority.
You got to name the team.
Yeah, sure.
Got to come up with uniforms.
That would
When's
be
that? Did they
nice.
say when that's happening?
The team name, it looks like, is probably a couple months away still.
So they won't.
I know Martin Kilcoyne, the 2 Fox sports director, had tweeted out that more stadium stuff will probably come out next month. And then team name and stuff like that still a few months away.
What's the likelihood that we are going to see on a political level some mild pushback in the sense of
Well, you're going to have some.
yeah, and
Well, there already was people.
who do you think it will
questioning
be?
Well, it'll be Mago, you green.
What? What?
I'm just saying, it's your representative that's going to probably try to.
Oh, Kara Spencer.
Yeah.
She went after the Blues and
I,
still
I
stands
think
by it.
I think Meg will do so just simply because she stated a number of times that she thinks the city needs to be a better negotiator, and some of the things they've done. So this
Well, what
is
they,
an opportunity. I
There's
mean,
that opportunity I'm
yeah,
talking
I mean,
about.
So yeah, so
Okay.
that's. But I don't.
Lewis won't. He's
But
quiet.
this is
Yeah, Lewis is just gonna keep the
he-
he gonna keep the shit
he's gonna
machine
keep the
running.
pocket
He
Yeah.
gonna keep the machine
Pocket-
running. He
Yeah.
knows Lewis on that
He-
stage.
you know, hey,
he gonna keep the he gonna
I
keep that
would
train
probably
on time.
very much.
Look, some
whatever
people-
you say bad about it, I would probably like working with Lewis.
He's nice enough guy.
Seems to get some stuff done.
I was really hammered when I met him the first time at Best Steakhouse.
That'll do it.
He was nice. Put a little sticker on me at that point.
Oh, how adorable.
Lewis Reed for mayor. I wandered around drunk with meatball stains
Oh,
on me.
that sounds
Because he knew
about
you'd be
right.
laying in a high traffic area.
Well, probably. It's like a billboard for me.
That traffic counts high.
Did anything that was said during the press conference stand out to you more than anything?
Not
Because
really.
all in all, it felt like a hey, soccer's coming to St. Louis.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And let's and
And
rightfully
that's-
so, pat ourselves on the back because I would imagine the effort that it took, and it was a massive undertaking, especially after the public vote fell through. So I mean, fans, St. Louisans certainly clamored for a private entity to step up. That private entity stepped up, and they're putting a lot of jack, as one former professional sports team owner says, into St. Louis. So
Don't
we'll
use
see how
that.
that plays. Yeah, but you're right. I think it's fair to ask, what is the city getting out of some of the deals that will ultimately end up going to this ownership group? And I think it's important that it's transparent. I think everybody absolutely has trusted the process up until this point. I think this ownership group has been pretty out front and vocal about what they're trying to do. And I think as long as our civic leaders are consistent and transparent in how they're going about building the stadium and providing jobs and opportunities for people in that area, I think this can be a smooth transition. But I would imagine we got, to 2022? We're going to hit some bumps on the road. We're going to have some squabbles. It's going to be I wouldn't say it's an uphill climb, but we're going to have,
There's not going to be big ones. There's too much private money.
very true. At least we won't hear about it, put it that way.
I mean, they'll have some. I mean, the thing is going to be the land.
Of course.
And they're not quite sure exactly what the plot is as of
Right.
yet, but we know the vicinity.
Right.
And it's an area that the city would like to have redone anyway, or something done there to begin with. So I don't see there being too much of a. It's just some logistics.
Okay.
So the event itself,
But we'll have some pushback. I mean, why we always do.
It's St. Louis, baby.
the late great Joe Strauss would call it a balloon party.
Yeah. Oh,
But-
it most certainly was a balloon party.
Yes,
yeah.
for sure.
There was a lot of. It was packed. It's a nice facility.
Ain't nothing, and you know what? Ain't
There's a
nothing
time
necessarily
and a
wrong with
place.
that. There's a time and a place.
for a balloon party.
Well,
That's
and,
fine.
and that the Palladium, I think it part of it is the people that own Butler's Pantry do the stuff there. They even put some lunch out for media
Nice.
on that. They want to be involved in some way with whatever's going on with this. So
Right.
I think that's part of why it was held where it's held.
I hope we just capture this moment. Again, this is, everybody's been, whether they're calling into radio shows or posting on Facebook, everyone talks about what they would like to see done in the city in order to unite the necessary parties to improve quality of life. And
Here's the thing.
I'm not saying this is the
just take that out of your conversation.
but it can't. I can't.
Yeah, you can.
I can't. There's too
Simple.
much. There's too many powerful, rich people in a room for me to not at least bring it up. We can't sit up here and
That's
build.
fine.
I'm saying this. We can't sit up here and have
Yes, you
every
can.
important person in St. Louis in one building when the city around us, in many respects, continues to crumble. Can we at least acknowledge that the people in that room yesterday,
Yes, but
while
you're
it's not their priority,
conflating. You're conflating. You don't have to have one with the other.
you can have. It can be. Yeah, it's not
Now
necessarily.
you can take advantage of that.
Yes, that's
situation.
what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I
But
mean.
to say it has to be said, no.
No, it hasn't been said, but I think it has to be. We should at
Just-
least bring it up that this is great that soccer can get these people in a room.
Mm-hmm.
What else could get these same powerful,
you can
influential
have-
people in a room to better the quality
Okay.
of life of everyone around?
But that's a different. I'm saying this. They're different conversations. Is what I'm
Yes,
saying.
absolutely,
Okay.
no doubt. I'm not saying
Whoever's
that
job-
soccer.
That's
should
what I'm
lead-
saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying that
I'm not
soccer's going to
saying-
lead to
okay.
a decline in
Like
crime. Yeah,
here's what I'm saying. I went to the event yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't then go on the steps of the Palladium and wait for Mayor Lyda Cruzan to come out and say, "What's your crime plan in the city?"
right. But I would like to hear that at some point.
Now, I thought I could have ambushed her in a way. I at least brought it up to several people, maybe some riders that were around
Right.
me, and they're like, You're
And
gonna
then,
do what?
and that's my only thing. I think, especially when you have the Louis Reeds and the Lyda Cruz's on that
just-
stage, I think when politicians do enter into
Just
the
don't make
conversation,
that. I'm saying don't make that your expectation.
no, you're not. No, and you're right. I won't.
Yeah.
I think though, even to the point of, I would love to have balloon parties for other things. Like I think it's great when the city does come together to celebrate. You know what I'm saying? It's great when we come to celebrate when it comes around sports, Stanley Cups, new soccer team. I don't begrudge any of that. That's awesome seeing people from all walks of life live and work and play together. I think that this shows that you can get something can get those people in a room to solve a problem. You said that St. Louis needed another sports team. They needed a shot in the arm as far as something in the downtown area. People came together and they did that. Now I believe that now that they've shown that, let's see if we can also circle back and use some of those same means and resources to address some other issues. And I'm not saying they're obligated to do so. I just think this is a very rare opportunity where we have people who have the ability to truly move mountains in one room.
So if they choose not to, then are you going to be mad?
I will be disappointed.
Okay.
Whose job is it to prod them along and get them in the
The
room?
people. It's absolutely up to the people in the city of St. Louis. If you, again, I'm just trying to think of solutions as far as how we can improve quality of life for everyone here in this city. And I think everyone is very excited about soccer, and they should be. There should be some pride in that. But does it not boggle anyone else's mind that we can get these people in a room for a sport, but not necessarily get them in a room on how we can maybe.
No, it doesn't because it's a business investment for them.
Well,
Now,
so
I
is,
would-
but,
I would
but
look at
aren't you
say-
investing in the city? If
But
the
they
city
have-
goes to shit,
Here's the thing.
what is soccer in St. Louis?
Well,
They should
here's
care about it.
here's what you should do your research.
Okay.
How much money
Nice.
has
Nice.
That was good.
the Taylor family donated to
Right.
causes
I-
in St. Louis?
that
So
is,
what
that
was-
is a fair
so-
question.
Yeah.
So what are your aldermen doing? What are your reps doing? What are your captain?
This
like,
is not.
your
here's
block
the thing.
captains doing. Like,
You're right.
Right.
It's about the people should hold their city officials accountable. It's not about the soccer people.
I think-
this is just this is a business.
But
venture.
if you're
Yes.
but if you're a community activist, you should get off. Not that you're on your ass. If you're a community activist, this should light a fire to say, "Ooh, follow this trail. Let's get behind this whale and
And
use
who-
that's
it.
what-
Wait,
there's
who-
opportunity
But
for
who
that.
are we
Correct.
kidding, though? There is going to be some form of a tax break given to this ownership group in order for them to
Oh.
get certain land space. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
So, and in doing so, that is taxpayer money.
I believe the city's on
That
the
is
hook.
our tax.
I believe
way.
the hook.
Yeah. So essentially, so it's
City's
it's,
on the hook for
so
repairs.
city is on the hook for a certain thing. So I'm saying is, I think it's fair for citizens to say, this is great. We came together for this. The
Yeah.
soccer stadium's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a great organization.
yeah.
Hey, some schools within a 10-mile radius, they're having trouble with books. Hey, what if we can all sit down as well and maybe discuss ways we can make sure these schools within a 5 to 10-mile radius of our
Okay.
stadium, they have certain
it-
amenities. Like we
Keep that same energy though with
Yes.
any other business around. them.
Absolutely, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
And a lot of businesses have stepped up. We've seen,
But then
the
don't
emo,
then
we've seen
don't then
places
don't
like
narrow
emos.
in and don't focus in on one particular group.
No, it's not. But I'm saying is
Because
this
I
is,
feel that's where we're going to go.
but this is a very unique group. I'm talking about this group of people that came together
Yeah.
to put together. This is a very unique, and you would have to say the upper echelon of St. Louis Metro and beyond. But some of the most
well, in terms of money.
yeah, certainly. And some of these are real players. So I'm saying since you have those real power players in a room, I think that if we can do this for soccer, it's okay to imagine if we can get similar parties in a situation to address other things of concern around the area.
Yeah, and I don't know what that is.
And I don't know, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, and I'm under the belief that it won't. I just we're running out of
Well, I
options
mean, they're
as
gonna
far as
have-
what we can do because we can't just say a shiny new stadium is just going to put a nice sweet bow on the St. Louis downtown and city area.
Yeah.
And I think it would be important if they really want to get the most out of their investment to also look around the neighborhoods around them and how that can play a role to improve that investment. You are investing in the city of St. Louis, so you will have to take some type of civil role in what goes on around the area. I think that's important. I think
Well, yeah, and there's already development there.
and
so.
I'm not saying the Stillmans and the DeWitts of the world haven't taken those roles before. So I don't want it to sound like that the people like you just mentioned, who they have donated money to around causes around the area. I'm not saying that's not important. I just think, man, we got a dream team in a room. Dream team of power players.
Yeah.
I wonder what this dream team else can do.
Well, and I would just say I wouldn't rely on them because it's not necessarily their responsibility.
Very true.
You should probably rely more on yourself and
Is
your
it? But
elected
they've
officials.
now made it their responsibility. You have a business in the city of
No,
St. Louis. It
that's
is
not-
the city around you is your responsibility, to a degree. I'm not saying you're
a
responsible
very
for
small degree.
Okay.
I mean, your responsibility is to do your business, right?
Okay.
I mean, that's why you're there.
I think it's hand in hand. You can have a business
Yeah,
without
but-
responsibility
but
to the
why-
people around
the
you.
thing is,
Wouldn't you want that business to be successful though by engaging the community
Yeah,
around
of course
you?
they're
Okay.
going to engage.
Employing a bunch of
Okay.
people
They already
and
have.
donating a bunch is a pretty engaging thing.
It's just a matter of how you think that there's a certain way it should be done. They're going to engage the community because it's a good business idea to do so.
Mm-hmm. Which is fine.
now
I'm
maybe the
saying now what
question
I'm saying is that's fine. We can go back to business. We can go back to donations. We can go back to that. I'm fine with that. But I'm saying this is also an opportunity. And if we miss it, I just don't want to hear the crowd go, "Oh man, what the hell are we gonna do about the city? The city is this. The city is that." I'm tired of the
here's-
constant naysayers who
Yeah.
bitch and complain about the city, but aren't necessarily looking for certain options to improve the city. And I
I'm
think
just not reliant on.
you don't have to be, but who? But my thing, I guess my question is, who are we? Who will step up?
I think-
that's simple. Here's the thing. Do not ask businesses to be your. Don't look for a savior. Who the fuck's looking for a savior? This is not how this is going to
Those
work.
dudes on the righteous
You
gemstone.
elect people. Yeah, you elect people to do their job.
Right.
Hold those people accountable.
Very
Those
true.
are the people.
And I said
It's
just
not
that.
businesses. It's not private. Anything else.
I think when private business and politics do mix, there is
There's public-private partnerships. Yeah,
Yes.
but that's a little different.
But they're conceding
But
that they're going to provide.
not every but Emos isn't having the mayor and the board of aldermen on stage when they open up a brand new restaurant on the south side. I'm saying
Right.
is you have engaged with politicians and civic leaders in this area. So the responsibility of these civic leaders is to still look out for the city, and this
Yeah,
goes
that's
hand
what
in,
I'm saying.
and they goes hand in hand.
So the people that you need to hold accountable are the elected officials,
Agreed.
because
And
they're
I've-
the ones who will.
I've
deal
said
with
that
everything.
since day one. Completely agree.
They're public servants.
Yes.
I mean that makes it simple. They're
Right.
public servants. So there's who it is.
Right.
So that's where you start, and that's where it ends,
So
basically.
what do you have planned to follow this whale that's swam into your
That's a
your
great
waters?
question. That's a great question, and I think that is a fair question. I look.
I just look at it as it means nothing to quality of life to the city of
Well,
St. Louis.
so at some
like
point,
it's got to be other stuff.
if
It has to be. It's policy and ideas that are going to matter there. It's
There
not
i-
going to be a soccer
But
team.
with that being said, and while yes, I understand the business nature of it, it is a cycle because then the politicians are looking to the police are looking to the politicians are looking to the business people, and the people are still left out in the cold. So I'm wondering who is going of these entities, whether it be the power players, the politicians, the authorities, who are going to be the individuals, the groups, the organizations that are going to step up to look at the quality of life because it's
The politicians.
Okay.
That's who it has to be.
Okay.
They are public servants. They are your
Okay.
elected officials to do so.
Business
That-
leaders,
that
business
is
leaders
the-
are also stewards of their community.
They are, but it's not their actual job. That's what a politician, an elected official is. It's their actual
them,
job.
I say, I just did all this and just gave you this giant world to live in. So I suggest you get off your ass, alderman, create engaging community events, book drives, or whatever, and use what we've built here that you would have no possible skill, ability, or even means to do otherwise, right? So you would say, hey,
Yeah.
get after it. Let's do it. We're doing our part. What have you done to bring 30,000 people down here? Because we just did it. That's what I would look at.
I did laugh at one of the things, now that I think of it, that was said yesterday, Travis. It was from Don Garber, the commissioner of MLS. He called the ownership group from St. Louis game-changing.
Oh my! Did you? Clearly, you walked up to him and you handed him an
I
invoice.
smirked. I smirked where I was.
You do a lot of smirking at those kind of events. I'm
Don
sure.
Garber, you racist as hell.
See, we're
Is
off to a
that
good
I don't
start.
no? That's not what
know
I'm
if
supposed to
that's
do
what
to the
you're doing.
commissioner of the
Off
MLS.
to a
Nope,
good
too
start.
soon. Nope.
Good
Okay.
start here.
I'll bring that back. Rewind it. I'll
Can't
put
go
it
That's
in
why
the
the
pocket.
crowd looked the way it did.
Kinkle says
My bad. Wrong event. I thought the NFL was back for some reason. My bad.
Do we want to wall off the city and let St. Charles people only into the sports areas and charge them an entrance fee to that part of the city?
Look, I'm happy.
That should go well.
I'm happy to put up a toll bridge, I said troll bridge. Sweet Jesus.
Sentence of the week makes its return
Damn.
this Friday.
God damn it, Travis.
Damn it, Travis, you idiot. But yeah, I'm all for.
Ooh, I agree.
For,
Here's a good way to put it. Businesses are the customers to the city. City needs to make the customer happy, not the other way around.
that's a hand in hand. That's not how that relationships work. That's not how those relationships work.
I don't know.
That's not how those relationships. Successful ones,
Well,
certainly. It's a
actually,
hand in hand relationship.
I
There's
think-
a
I
hold
think
on,
Birch
hold
has
on,
there's
a
a
hold
point.
scratch my back,
I
you
think-
scratch mine. Now that may work in rural parts of Missouri. We're talking about an urban town
no,
with
no.
diverse people.
Travis,
Like with
that's
that's
naive.
not
No,
that's
no,
a
no.
hand in hand
That's
conversation.
naive.
That's a hand in hand relationship. Those relation no that is
how do you
not
think?
like
How
how
do you
those
think
work.
they built Cortex?
Right.
How do you think they built
Yeah.
certain areas?
Yeah. Hey,
There-
would you like this land?
How
Would you like
much
this?
are they
Yeah.
just giving away to beg someone to come?
Right.
Like, now here's the thing. That makes sense initially. You can pull back on that at some point
Certainly.
when there's development that's begun. Then you have
Well, then
more
your
leverage,
then
right?
your product
It's a
gets
natural,
more
but
expensive.
it-
but the city's also investing into
Right,
Cortex. The
but-
city is banking that with Cortex,
mind.
bringing those
Never
people in.
mind.
I'm saying though, but if people
You're
are bringing,
interrupting me. I'm trying to
no,
make a point.
okay, make your point.
I'm done.
The fact of the matter is, I'm
Fuck
saying
you.
is that Cortex.
That's not how you take an interruption.
It's a hand in hand. It's a basically a hand in hand relationship. It's not something that's. I think it's beneficial to both parties.
Recent history has been different in the city and how they've brought businesses in, is what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
through TIF and other things. And one of them, most certainly, has been an absolute fucking disaster with McKee.
of course, who was doing it for decades.
Still is a fucking disaster.
Absolutely.
Even when you've done some things to kind of bring that back some.
Yes, absolutely.
But businesses were brought in through St. Louis with basically begging. Basically, what do you need with
Right,
that kind of
right,
mindset?
Right.
That's recent history. It might not always stay that way, but I'm saying if you think it's not necessarily hand in hand right away, that could change.
Right.
And it's starting to, like you saw the vote with, and you can use MLS as in particular. It was voted on and said no to, so then it went private, right?
Right.
That's what I look at as encouraging. Is like, hey, look, you're not giving away as much as you used to this go round. You're giving away some.
Right.
land that you haven't developed, land that's a terrible exit in the city of St. Louis, that
Right.
an exit that doesn't even need to be there.
That's completely literally goes that basically goes to nowhere.
So what you are getting
Right.
back is actually development on a piece of property that probably needs to be developed.
Absolutely.
So that's how I would look at it.
Right.
And you're not investing or giving away as much as you used to.
Very true.
So I think, but before, that wasn't necessarily the case. There was a lot given away because they needed people to come, and that was part of the allure.
But let's also, and I know it's the desire to try to compare regular businesses with what's going on with it. They're two different entities.
Look,
you can't
I'm
sit
gonna
up
be
here
on
and
their
say
side.
that
They gave me a scarf.
Yeah,
they did
I'm
give you a
Team
scarf.
MLS.
Like the conversation that grocery store owners and gas station owners have with the city are completely different than the conversation this ownership group had with the city. So everybody that keeps comparing to, well, when a business opens up in the city, this isn't just a business, man. This is a sports franchise. We know the role these play
Quit quoting
and
Jay-Z
major.
if you're not going to be on his team.
I don't know about him right now. But the fact of the matter is, the overall point is this, that it's the people, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, it's going to be incumbent upon us to hold these individuals accountable to make sure there is transparency.
I agree with
and I just want people who, again, and this is just the reason why I'm kind of it itches in the back of my head when these things happen. Yeah, because there are so many people in this town that bitch and
we get that for
complain.
you?
The people bitch and complain about everything that goes on in the city, but no one's ever willing to provide some avenue as to how we can solve some of these issues. Short of let's put 800 more cops on the street, no one provides any tangible outline as to how we can improve a desert of a North City, how we can improve a landing that's absolute, and I'm not saying it's incumbent upon this ownership group. I'm saying that we found a way to get important people in a room to solve an issue. So it shouldn't be hard to get those people in a room for
Right.
something as
I just-
important or more, right?
I just think
but
you're.
now
I
you
think you're
think
focusing
that-
on the wrong group of people. Is
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying.
So what they would say to you is
I'm
like,
saying you should
it's
be
not
focusing
our-
on politicians and elected officials
Yeah.
with that.
I agree,
Because
and I think they also
I'll
should be
tell you
held
what,
accountable.
I don't want Carolyn Kendall Betts setting policy necessarily for a crime plan or anything.
But to your point, you're right. But the same
If
city,
you don't use worldwide technologies or enterprise, you go straight to jail.
but that's funny. But the city is still willing to privatize Lambert. So they're willing
Are
to
they?
let businesses dictate how we run business
Right.
in St. Louis.
And I'm not saying that's a good idea.
I'm just saying we're here.
We've seen what's going on with that.
But
We've seen recently that one of the companies that was
Yeah.
up to be involved in this privatization just got dumped by Denver's
ba-
airport because they're years behind schedule.
So it's trying to say, damned if I do, damned if I don't.
That's fair.
Okay, I should have just kicked the conversation off that way. My bad. I apologize. I just that was cool.
Okay, you
That's-
want to?
Yesterday was cool. That was the Avengers in a room. I want the Avengers to
If
do
I'm
other
Carolyn
shit.
Kendall Betts, and it's like, all right, fine, we'll give you a bunch of apartments. I need every child kicking a soccer ball every single day. No other sports allowed in my district. Nothing. Do you know how good soccer would turn into?
St. Louis would be the Golden State
That's
Warriors
right. We
of
would
the
have-
MLS.
We would have six.
That's
foot,
a fair trade. Now
we would
that's
have
what I'm
6
talking
foot eight,
about.
6'8" brothers
That's what I'm talking about, Chris.
kicking balls 150 miles an hour.
I don't know.
You don't want the brothers getting
I don't
involved.
That's what I'm saying.
I
That's
don't-
all I'm saying.
It's happening in MMA.
Thank you, Chris.
It's happening in
Yes.
MMA. I can't.
Yeah.
Greg Hardy's been fighting for 2
Woo.
weeks, and he's on his way to a heavyweight title.
And he was
I
training
don't
on his
know.
wife before he got into the UFC.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my God.
It just shows.
I
It's not fair.
I don't know.
There's
I
no
don't
room for the
know.
gritty white guy anymore.
I don't know how the Metro Catholic Conference would handle Vashon beating him in soccer. now.
Sean would crush them.
But how
if
fun!
they
What a
did that.
great, what a fun trade-off that would be.
I've
if
been
she
at
did
some of those games.
If she did because like I said, she was very impressive yesterday. What if she did something
But how would
similar?
maybe the sagging of the shorts could be a problem?
But
with
here's
the
what she could
speed.
do. Considering how she handled herself in that room, I can absolutely see her using that same room for a meeting between the Bloods and the Crips, and just simply going, "Fellas,
no, this
what
is
is
why-
good?
See,
Here's the deal."
No, we figured it out. I figured out the psychology of you with this. The reason you want businesses and this group involved in particular is because here's the nice way of putting it. And I disagree with some of what you said, but here's your motivation. I can see it right through you. It's because you thought she was impressive, and you want someone impressive to be in charge of things.
I want yes, because that was the first time in a long time
That's
where
the-
I saw an adult in the room. That was the first time I've been in
That's
St.
the
Louis.
simpleness
yes.
of
yes.
your words
You're
right there.
You're right.
And
You're
that's
correct.
why you're pining for
Yes.
what you're saying.
I like
I
impressive
disagree
You know,
people.
with
those
a
were
lot of what
all
you're saying.
talking points, and she was reading a script.
No, there's other things she's done that led up
She
to
did
that
have
press
paper in
conference
front
that
of her.
she has, and she was that's the way she came off, and I know she's
I'm
in
not
a
saying you should shoot from the hip, but I'm saying
She
like,
did go
that was
off
very,
script, though, so.
Yeah.
but she's obviously you wouldn't be in that position if you weren't an impressive individual, and so
Oh,
my
for
point
sure.
is that when you have an impressive individual that's obviously very good behind the scenes, but also puts up a good image in front of. St. Louis has needed a personality, a person, an individual that can not only, put on that face in front of the fans, in front of the citizens and the media, but someone that can truly get things done
Right.
behind the scenes. We
So-
haven't
so
had an
let's
individual like
let's
that.
take business. Let's take all of it out
Yes.
of it. The reason you wanted it is just because you thought she was good.
I thought she came off as a person who can get shit done.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people we can say that about in the city of St. Louis. There are probably maybe a handful of people we
coming
can
off-
say that they can get shit done. And I think, look, with all due respect to Lyda Cruzen, she's
don't have
not
to say
that
that.
impressive individual. Lewis Reed, with all due respect, it's not look,
You're
if he
failing
wanted
to
to change
mention-
something, St. Louis would have looked
Look,
a certain way by now.
Scott-
You're
The
failing
Scott-
to mention the most important thing.
The Scott trade funding bill got put forward by him after a generous donation by a certain person. So
Steve Stinger's literally in prison
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
Literally
that's
in
another great
prison.
example.
Like,
he
that-
was going to be
that's-
the mayor.
Yeah. The entire thing.
Just
Jeez.
where
And you'll-
maybe some of this black rage is smoking from is literally like
That is really-
civically,
yeah.
like, that is there's no I mean short of the Chicago and Illinois governmental antics or DC,
Right.
the last year in
Yeah.
Missouri politics has been about as Coen Brothers as it gets.
Yes.
And we
Thank
just
you.
haven't seen the bodies yet.
That is
Like,
very
Take
true.
that, Illinois.
You're right. He's right.
Guess
And-
what? We'll bankrupt ourselves next.
And you know what? It's not just how impressive she was at the press conference. To Chris's point, it's having a year and a half of Stanger and Greitens and having these people, these empty suits who are just out to benefit themselves. Now, this young lady may be out to benefit herself, but I tell you what, she said she was going to go out and get something done, and she got it done. And St. Louis needs individuals, not just one, but individuals like that can go anywhere in the city, in the county, that can walk into a city hall in Clayton, that can go to North City and talk to the resident. They need that individual that can truly find a way to get shit done. And
I
yesterday,
think it's
she
Travis
came up
Terrell.
like
Well, the problem is we just got to elect them.
that. Right.
Right.
And
Now
and
that's
that's
the problem.
and that's the dance that again and a lot of this is naivete. I understand that this probably won't happen. It's I'm very Gardner made a very good point. It is about the business at the end of the day, and that's
You're-
American motto.
I'm telling you, not necessarily to put your expectations where you have them, but to be. I'm not going to take hope away from anyone. You can be hopeful.
I just saw
That's fine.
I just saw Thor, Iron Man, and the Hulk all in one room, and I just keep thinking, man, this city could use
Right.
some superheroes.
And my thing is, they need to. That would yes, they do. They need to be in different positions. Is my point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that
So the event was nice.
it was.
You got a scarf. One more time. Let me see it. Now, is there a special? Is that a special scarf? Is that made in St. Louis? How does that work?
It is made. Actually, I was asking a media guy there yesterday. I'm like, hey, where do you get these scarves made? He's like, oh, actually, I don't
Gardner
know.
gumshoeing around,
Ben
asking
Fred-
the hard question.
Ben Fred's standing next to me as I'm asking this question, and he's shaking his head
Mm-hmm.
because he's getting real details. And shout outs from the podium, CKB, giving him a shout out for a headline of
nice.
some sort.
Ben Fred might be on the take from Big Soccer, huh?
Let's ask
You
questions.
can get
very
him in
excited.
here soon.
I'm asking questions, but
Okay.
Are you?
then a gentleman who just happened to be walking by,
Uh-huh.
who apparently deals with the marketing, and goes, "Oh, they're made by a company called Roughneck in Europe." And I'm like,
Really?
oh, really? In Europe? He's like, yeah. There's like one company here, but they still have to have them shipped from Europe.
You really are
So-
the Forrest Gump of media.
So I just
really are.
lucked out, and the guy happened to be walking by in marketing, so I chatted with him for a second, and it's Roughneck. And actually, I did notice they have a tag on here too, RUFFNECK, 100% acrylic, made in UK. So these are
Shout out
made
to By
in
Jack.
Roughneckscarves.com. I wonder how much they cost. Maybe I can get a carte blanche.
Do they know that's not how you spell rough in the UK?
Oh, Chris,
Speak American.
yeah.
Thank you. So the MLS outsourcing scarf jobs to the UK. Huh.
We don't have a scarf company here. Maybe that's the.
Huh?
Maybe.
By Jack Scarving.
Maybe just take my advice and am making hashtag Scarf City a 3-story scarf store, the world's
Emporium,
largest
Emporium.
scarf store right across from this stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe involved in that process, we create industry. We create the scarves there. We manufacture the scarves. Remember when we laughed at Rob Cunningham, who's a libertarian candidate for mayor a number of times in the city of St. Louis, who wanted to build a sock factory instead of getting a MLS team or a sports franchise? Remember him? It's like, why don't we build a sock factory?
I do remember
that
that.
idea.
That came
People
out.
do wear socks.
But that came out at the same time as turning the dome into an aquarium.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So that
Well,
came about the same
I thought
time.
about that.
So yeah, he was the libertarian. You know what? Maybe he was onto something.
Mm-hmm.
We become a scarf factory town.
Right.
Fine.
And if there's
Washington
if-
Avenue will be bustling like it was in the early 1900s.
if they're going to Europe, they're going to Britain to get this stuff done.
Imagine what we could save them on shipping costs.
Centrally located.
Mm-hmm.
We do have that airport problem.
Mm.
I don't know how shipping works. Now I got to think of this.
Yeah, we got to think about that.
So,
Fact of the matter is,
but
I see
I'm
what you're
saying that-
I see
Are
what
you a
you're saying.
logistics expert?
not at all.
You sound kind of like one.
That's all you really got to do in life,
okay.
I've learned. Well, that and be able to smile and nod when you don't care. My
Mm.
dad taught me that at a very young age.
good.
That's what I needed to do. And but why not? Why don't we create industry? Why don't we become scarf manufacturers just across from the stadium?
Mm-hmm.
If they're having these made in the UK, why can't we do it here?
That's a good
Why
point.
not in St.
That's a
Louis?
good point.
Why not become the city of scarves as is described or once
Oh,
described
wow.
on the St. Louis City Wikipedia
Oh
page?
my, the city of
That-
scarves. That's
It might have been edited by me at one point
Oh.
interesting.
before
because-
being
Is this the
removed.
part? Is this the part where they say something about boys to men or something? Remember that? Didn't we find there was like a city thing that had one of the boys to men as part of it? Do you guys remember that? No. Well, that's a great Wikipedia page, Gardner.
Yeah, there was Boys to Men.
Yeah, there was
when
like a
Louis
weird
Reed
connect.
gave
That was
the-
Louis Reed's
It
proclamation.
was a proclamation to Boys to Men.
It was really odd, though, right?
Which one do you like best?
Why do you hate Boys to Men? They haven't been on Rogan. I'm sorry. Speaking of the devil,
Oh boy.
and the devil shall appear. Joe Rogan. Oh, Joe Rogan. God,
You need to be careful, pal.
well, I'm gonna be careful around Joe Rogan. And this is the
You-
thing.
well,
you
because-
guys have
'cause you don't-
lionized one of the Joe Rogan. That's your hero.
Have you listened to his show? Because I know you haven't.
Well, I brought it up because there's a recent article in the Atlantic. That's where the photo is from.
It's a very persnickety photo of him.
Joe Rogan. It's in the Atlantic. It's called "Why Is Joe Rogan So Popular?" And it delves into the podcast giant and the voice
Did you read the entire article?
of the white male America.
No, he didn't. I didn't think so. So you've crafted.
the headline.
You haven't listened to the podcast. You read a headline.
I'll read it quickly.
Oh, you'll read it quickly. Oh my God! What a piece of work.
You are Tracy Jordan.
Larry, I'm not an expert, but I do have a strong opinion.
You are Tracy Jordan.
He brought it up.
on,
He
I'm
brought it
almost-
up. He brought it up like he was Lisa
My anger is
Guerrero.
going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm going to have good anger.
He brought it up like he was Lisa Guerrero doing an Inside Edition. More
We
news
thought
on
you
that
had
shortly.
something here. We were all ready for it. We were waiting. You could have even mentioned how you agree with Piers Morgan in a tweet recently.
There's stuff out there you could find.
Yeah.
To weaponize. I would
We
say
could
you're
talk about
correct.
his interview style. Some appreciate it, some don't. It's not necessarily unique, is what I would say. Like, I like that style in a way. Jack Buck used to do that, where he allowed the person being interviewed, the interviewee, to be the star. Simple questions. But there's also, in these contexts, maybe it's a lack of knowledge at times because the follow-ups aren't necessarily there.
Thank you.
Now, that's an argument. That could
On
be
some,
debated.
for sure.
And that's fine. That's all you had to say, Travis.
Yeah. But then you get into
But
the
you
fact
said
where
it for me because you already know what is. You know the narrative. You know what he is.
I'm
So
just
people
going on-
know what he is, and yet they're still.
I'm somewhat ignorant, though, too, because I've only watched in 10-minute chunks, bunches.
yeah.
You
So-
know, you're right. I don't
But
think I've
here's
been
also the
fair.
thing, though, too. If he's doing a 3-hour interview and I've seen the style, for me, I'd rather just go to the park and do something else. That's
For
me
sure.
personally, though.
Yeah.
For others, that's obviously not the case.
What?
I
Why,
just don't
why do you? Because the article does touch on his popularity and the audience that is attracted, of course, to his podcast, and it did highlight a certain group that is very much drawn to Joe Rogan. So I'm curious.
Who's the group?
He's a stand-up comedian who does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and is a commentator. One of the, not original, but since like UFC 3 or 10 or something, he's a UFC commentator. So at the same time, when stand-up comedy reaches an apex, whenever MMA, UFC has just become a force, and podcasting has become a force. Those are three, and he was on network TV. This is a
News radio.
This is a really, and then don't take away the Fear Factor thing. Fear Factor, he probably made the most money off anything.
Yeah,
he was
that's
doing.
fine. Still news radio. For
News
me.
radio, for
Personally.
sure. But that gives him legitimacy. He was on there with
No,
Phil Hartman.
it makes them popular, and just because you're popular doesn't mean you're good.
No, you're
And so
popular.
that's the thing I don't understand with Joe Rogan.
Did you just have a revelation? Travis?
No, but not at all.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, just because Joe Rogan was the host of Fear Factor and did stand up for 20 years and
You
was
asked,
in news radio,
you
50
asked why
no,
a bunch of white guys are into his show. Those are three
But I'm
very
saying is,
popular
but how does that
things.
mean he becomes a voice of serious conversations?
He doesn't say he's serious. Every time he's on there, he's like, don't forget, I'm getting high and doing a podcast.
People have become attracted to that style, apparently. What I'm saying is the style is, it's not a revelation.
No, it's
Nor
not.
would he say it is.
Right.
No.
But like when I hear people that, like, oh, you got to see her. I'm like, yeah, I've seen that before. I've watched people interview that way.
Right.
right.
Oh, like the
I
interview
like
with
it some.
Jack Dorsey.
But-
He took heat and came back and had Jack on like a week later and made him bring in another expert from Twitter. And they both weren't that great. I agree.
But there are limitations at times to that interview style. But if you know the style going in, you know that.
Right. That's what
And
I'm
yet-
saying. Like, why would you let it
But-
bother you?
But then you can get caught up in seeing, and like I saw it pointed out on Twitter, like, was it Rogan agreed with Piers Morgan on something about
The left.
lefties,
Said
Lefties,
super
yeah.
left has gotten out of control or
PC,
something.
yeah,
That extra
unbearable
shit.
or whatever. And then,
Yeah.
but it's pointed out, well, why don't you bring this up when Bernie Sanders is sitting right in front of you then?
I don't think he considers him that. Do you?
Oh, yeah.
He's talking like about extreme left
Yeah.
behavior.
What is
I
extreme?
mean, he's
but
a
who is-
democratic
but who-
socialist.
But
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't take it like that.
I mean, that's what Bernie Sanders
right.
is.
Here's my thing too. He is absolutely 1,000,000% for it being an uncensored whatever. He's he'll corner people and kind of argue with people where he can get uncomfortable
Yeah.
because the way he looks and the way it probably feels like he's bullying you. But
I
I think it's fairly.
I've seen
I'd
that,
say there are
and
talking.
I would say that's a fair interpretation, though, at times, most certainly.
Can be for sure.
Yeah.
When there's a guy 2 feet from you who could dismantle you.
Yeah, I think it definitely comes across that.
Sure. So my point is, 1,000,000%. I think there's also talking points more than we realize. You may not talk about this. You may not do this. So to keep it
Kind of behind the scenes stuff.
that Bernie interview.
I've dealt with that myself.
Correct. So don't forget that. That Bernie interview, I
That's
listened
fair.
to it. All it did was make me think like, oh, Bernie, he's a cool dude. Seems like a nice guy. He's not some like just screaming
Yeah.
old man.
I think
I think I tweeted this or I said something here. I was like, no, it made him more of a person. I didn't learn anything really. I didn't learn anything or trust him more to be a candidate. I thought he seemed more like a man. I liked that, but I didn't gain anything from it. The Jack Dorsey interview, I thought was pretty. It could have been a lot more interesting, but I don't know. You're talking some serious people walking through those doors. Like for a fact, Mark Maron interviewed Obama. There was a list that said you may talk about this, you may not talk about this. So don't
Mark
forget
Maron,
that
by
those
the way,
things
going to
happen.
be in David Bowie biopic.
Oh, nice.
He's going to play the manager, I think, actually. in it.
He's a good manager. He's in Glow. He does that. And he kind of somebody with some cantankerous views.
Uh-huh.
He's getting those roles.
I think I just saw that yesterday. So there's a note for you. You're going to see that movie now, obviously.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Okay. Okay. All right, idiots. Yesterday we were talking. I'm sorry. Do you want to?
No, Joe Rogan.
Do you want to take any? Do you want to take any empty swings?
No, it's just Joe Rogan sucks. And
Okay.
People love gravitating towards sucky people, and it's very weird that continues to happen
Yeah,
in this country.
kind
It's-
of like DJ.
You're in a mood
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
I'm not in a
yeah,
mood.
kinda
It's
like- yeah,
alright,
DJ Khaled
no,
sells
I
I
healthy
just saw
records.
2 articles. I
Yeah.
just saw 2 articles in a matter of days that says Conan O'Brien has absolutely
that was the
the
dumbest thing I've
podcast
ever
You just
thing.
told me you
and
weren't in
then
a mood.
Joe Rogan.
You're a fucking liar.
Joe Rogan.
DJ
no,
Khaled's the biggest musician on the planet.
Joe
Tell
Ro-
me that he has talent. Get out of here.
But I'm saying is Joe Rogan, like, he's a prism for stupidity, and it gets under my skin because it makes
So you
stupid
are in a
pe-
mood.
It makes stupid people feel smart. and it irks me because it adds more to the contentious conversation. And he's not a objective arbiter. Like if it's one thing, the reason why I don't hate Sean Hannity lets you know out the gate, this is who I'm for. And so I hate people who disguise their so-called objective opinions when it's very clear in your actions and your words that you have an agenda. Be that guy.
But all this goes away because you haven't listened.
I've listened enough. How many Gary Johnson and Alex Jones interviews do you want me to hear to just come to a conclusion on Joe Rogan? He is who he is.
No, and that's fair because there becomes a point where it's like, I'm not going to help you pay your bills.
Right.
I'm not going to listen to help you.
Right.
I'm not going to waste my time. That could become a thing at some point. I will say Joe's interview style, and from what I've seen, and we talked about the petition before to have him, moderate a presidential debate. I said, okay, under the one circumstance, Marianne Williamson wins the Democratic nomination, and she goes against Trump.
That's the only
then
one
I'm okay
I'm for.
because Joe's really not qualified to ask follow-up questions with the like.
Well, they have to get high. Everybody has to get high before
I can assure you, Marianne will join it.
Trump's got to smoke.
Marianne, she will smoke out of a crystal.
Now, that's why I'm saying,
which could actually put her over the top.
That's why I'm saying that's the one exception. But if it's anyone else, like Joe's not knowledgeable enough or skilled enough in asking questions, follow-up questions, to get to those points. He lets his person go. That's why people like listening to, and he doesn't necessarily,
which to me is really nice.
But that's an interview. That's not a debate.
Correct.
And that's where you need someone more skilled.
I don't think people are. He's not. He was laughing about it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The notion happens only under one circumstance.
Right.
Because you have to be more skilled and knowledgeable to be able to follow up. And that's not Joe necessarily.
I just think we've seen enough throughout history, especially in entertainment, individuals like Joe Rogan who come forward. They speak for a so-called generation of men. I'm not grafting at all. I'm saying is I think what happens is
can I interject?
Yeah, please.
Real quick.
I
just want to tell the audience something real quick.
Okay.
I love sitting here when Travis gets worked up about this and watching the smirk, the crooked-ass smile slowly form on Chris's face while you're talking. Continue, so I can watch this again.
And then again, and look,
because it makes me laugh.
I get why Rogan's a hero to so many, a certain demographic of society. I get it.
It's funny.
I get it. I understand. He's a bro. He's got muscles, and he smokes, and he commentates on the UFC. He's one of us.
And he votes exactly like you.
He looks one of us. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But no,
says it openly.
Man, there's a lot of people who openly said they vote in one way in 2016 and they went the opposite way when it happened. But the fact of the matter is, I think it does add a dangerous element to our discourse when people's lone reference is Joe Rogan. That's dangerous, man.
Was it dangerous, or is it dangerous still to this day, when people's lone, would you call it lone what to the discourse? Lone representation, lone whatever?
Voice.
Okay, lone voice happens to be The Daily Show.
No, I completely agree with you there. I completely agree with you. I think it's
but
important.
I don't watch cable news networks.
But again, like I said, I think it's important.
I read more than anything.
I think it's important. Like I've said this before. Like, and you've highlighted this. This is part of the Chris Gardner motto. You got an agenda. Just put it up front. I'm just fine.
Well,
I'm fine with that.
I'm
fine with that. He has this very bro masculinity approach. He does take on conservative social issues, and that's fine. I'm not saying begrudging him of doing that on certain things, especially when it comes to immigration.
If you told me you have no agenda, I don't believe you.
There you go.
And everyone has an agenda.
And that's all I'm asking. Just at least say that up front. And then that's cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
But to be like,
told me you don't have an agenda.
He's an objective guy. He doesn't pick a side. He lets the interview. He goes, come on, man, stop.
I would just love for you to actually have more knowledge on the situation that has made you angry for 20 minutes.
I'm not angry. I'm not the only one who shares this. Am I alone?
Again.
Gardner, am I a lone wolf in the what perception of Joe Rogan is?
I would think not.
Don't say lone wolf in this situation.
Yeah, sure. Well, we're never lone wolves. Don't ever worry about that. I won't ever get an opportunity.
I just knowing you and then knowing again, I've listened to it more than you're going to want to ever listen to it. Just knowing you and what I think your core stuff is, and then what I believe to be his perceived core stuff that he openly puts out there, and I have no reason to not believe him other than that would be a really long con. That I think that you'd feel much
I would've
differently
been-
about him.
I
And I
would've-
think if you were sitting in a room with him, you would hug him on your way out.
I would have been absolutely willing to
And I'm
be a
not saying you-
person.
I'm not
I
saying
would
you're-
have been a happy listener to maybe Joe Rogan. That Alex Jones thing was a no deal for me. That's
But
a no
did you
deal for
listen
me.
to the
That's a no
Alex
deal for
Jones
me.
thing?
I'm sorry.
and
No,
he- no,
I
and
did.
I
I
agree
listened
with
enough.
Travis on that
That
one.
was a no deal for me.
You
Like
don't,
you can't.
you don't get a listen on
You don't.
that.
Yeah, you don't. You don't.
That's
it's hard to
dangerous.
come back. That's you cross the
No,
line.
it's
there.
not dangerous. What's dangerous is having him on.
It-
That's
it's
more
very-
dangerous
that's
than
very
That's
dangerous.
more dangerous than.
And
I agree with Travis in that point. I think that is an issue.
That was a line cross. You don't. That's the guy sat up here and humiliated people who had their children gunned down in the school.
Yeah, fuck
That
him.
guy, fuck him. He doesn't deserve a microphone on your show.
No,
he doesn't
he doesn't.
deserve your millions of listeners. He doesn't deserve your subscribers. Who the fuck is he? Who the fuck is Alex Jones?
Yeah.
For him to be, he's so necessary to be on your show. This guy sat up here and laughed in
I
the
agree
faces
with
of
that
these
one.
parents. No, that's a line. And look, if people don't
It's
have a
not-
line when it
yeah.
comes to who they listen to, that's fine.
That's
but
what-
for me,
that's-
that went beyond entertainment. That went beyond satire. That went beyond a character. You went out of your way to purposely hurt people who were at the most horrible point in their life. I can't
Still
imagine.
are.
There still are.
And
now because of that,
actually you contributed
and you
to
could
it.
to this day. That's why the lawsuit exists. And that's for me, like, to give that guy, it's one, and then to invite him on your show, then to go on his.
I understand. No,
Like I
get
said,
that.
Joe Rogan is your hero. Okay. I think that says everything about the
but-
current discourse in this
But
country.
here's the thing too. You do have to understand that mistakes will. You don't have to agree with someone you like
True.
all the time.
That's very true.
But I mean, that's a big. I understand that one. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's an issue. So I agree with you there.
But if Joe Rogan would like to come on We Are Live, we'll be more than happy to have him.
I'm not saying shit. Go ahead.
Joe Rogan and I have a fun time. We'll have a fun back and forth. Get him on. We gotta look. We're able to look. Chris Nimmin can get any guest because we have one later this week. You actually just mentioned her.
Friday next week, Lisa Guerrero of Inside Edition will be joining us. You know her from the amazing interview where she backed a televangelist into the corner of an
Kenneth
Escalade.
Copeland.
Kenneth Copeland of Copeland Ministries. Maybe my favorite interview.
Best
I've
interview
ever
of the
seen.
year, probably, right?
This one
Well,
here?
the fact was,
Where it's like this?
the creep factor, knowing what that guy does, and her, how do I put this? Basically, her bendiness or her ability to, what do you call if like the arch can take so much wind before it snaps? What do you call that? What is that?
Science.
Shout it out. No. It's a thing. It's basically a breaking point, right?
Okay.
Her ability to absorb the sweethearts and him talking down to her and accomplish the interview and to make him, I don't think she set out to do it, but she cornered him and he's saying there's demons in tubes. That's why he can't fly commercial.
Yes.
That was an excellent piece of work. She's very talented. Either way, because of the Tony Cavallero interview last week, talking about Righteous Gemstones, Lisa Guerrero came up. We played the psychic clip where she called out the psychic online.
By the way, best
Amazing.
thing in the world. Best thing
What
in
do
the
you
world.
call that? Science.
That's the
Yeah.
best answer I had in my pocket.
And I'll come up with it. Either way, we've got Dr. Ed from Hillside Animal Hospital coming in after this. But either way, Lisa Guerrero will join us next week for a very fun conversation. She's also a musician, actress, all this
Oh,
crazy
wow,
stuff.
I didn't realize
so
that.
I reached out. She was very, very kind. and
Nice.
she scheduled an interview for next Friday. So we're going to take a break. We're at Midcoast Studio in Grand Center in St. Louis. Big thanks to Hillside Animal Hospital for being a part of our program.
Hey, man.
The great Dr. Ed will join in just a few minutes for Dogs on Film. We'll be right back.